तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are within the conversations of Wednesday, December 19, 1883. And we have come to the para. The same night, the master talked to M. Rakhal, Latu, Harish, and a few other devotees. M. Master to M. Some people give a metaphysical interpretation of the Vrindavan episode of Sri Krishna's life. What do you say about it? First, you have to think what is metaphysical interpretation. In the Bengali, it is Adhyatma Vyakhya Kore. That means, Adhyatma means spiritual. That means that the Vrindavan episode did not happen physically, but the Jiva, the Panchendriyas, Pranas, and Atman, like that they interpret. So, the interpretation is not physical, but spiritual. And then he says, what do you say about it? Because it was known Master Mahashaya was a Nirakar Bhakta. So whether he accepts Vrindavan Leela physically or not, so do you agree with them who interpret spiritually? Now by this time, Master Mahashaya has understood many things. That everything is possible in God's play. That is the main important thing he has understood. And so he replies, M. There are various opinions. What if there are? You have told us the story of Bhishma Deva's weeping on his bed of arrows because he could not understand anything of God's ways. So, God's ways, people may interpret, but it may happen physically, it may happen like that, who knows? Again, you have told us that Hanuman used to say, I don't know anything about the day of the week, the position of the stars, and so forth. Tithi, Var, Nakshatra, I do not know. I only meditate on Rama. So think of God only. What interpretation and how, what happened, we need not think. Further, he has said to us that in the last analysis, there are two things only, Brahman and its power. He also said that after the attainment of Brahmajnana, a man realizes these two to be one, the one that has no two. So this much Master Mahashaya has understood that everything resolves into Brahman and Shakti. But those who attain Samadhi, they find this Brahman and Shakti also merge into one. And this is that and that is this. So that is the one that has no two. A man realizes these two to be one. Now, one not of the type of Plato's one, that is, the world, manifold world is here and the one is there, not in that sense. So, one means which has no two. The whole world is he himself. There is nothing other than him. That is the real meaning of one. So, Master Maharaj has understood that also. There is another one they call the Plato's one, that the world is here and one is there, not in that sense. But everything becomes one which has no two. No two means what it appears as 2, 3, 4, 5 is he himself. It is his appearance. So up to this, Master Maharaj has understood nicely, and this he expresses. And then he says that who interprets what may not be our consideration. And God can do everything. Master, yes, that is true. So M's understanding Master wanted to test, and he has asked, what do you say? And Master Maharaj has told, and he is satisfied. Your ideal is to reach the goal. Your ideal, he says, ওখানে কোথায় আছে? হ্যাঁ বটে। চিজ নেবে তো কাঁটাবান দিয়েই হোক আর ভালো রাস্তা দিয়ে চলে গিয়েই হোক। Okay. Okay, it is explanatory. Your ideal is to reach the goal. You may reach it by going either through a thorny forest or along a good road. You have to reach there by any path whatsoever. Diverse opinions certainly exist. Nangta used to say that the monks could not be feasted because of the diversity of their views. Diversity should not lead to quarrels, but there is diversity and it leads to quarrels sometimes. Once a feast was arranged for the sannyasis. Monks belonging to so many sects were invited. Everyone claimed that his sect should be fed first. Now, when the opinions become privilege, superiority, inferiority, then only the quarrel comes. Otherwise, opinions may be there. But no conclusion could be arrived at. Who should be first? Who is superior? Puri or Giri or... At last, they all went away, and the food had to be given to the prostitutes. So, they could not reach a solution. Who will eat first? So, nobody. And then the food was there. So, it went to the extreme that it was given to the prostitutes, the other extreme. M. Totapuri was indeed a great soul. So M has heard from Thakur about Totapuri. And so he says Totapuri was indeed a great soul. Master. But Hazara says he was an ordinary man. So Hazara has his own opinion. And Thakur is telling even the real great man can be called by somebody as ordinary man. There is no use in discussing these things. So let us not go by persons. Everyone says that his watch alone gives the correct time. You see, so he brings the topic back to Narayan Shastri, which you have seen in the daytime. Narayan Shastri developed a spirit of intense renunciation. So, he is greater, that is great is not the question. You have to reach the goal. And that requires renunciation intense. He was a great scholar. A scholarship was given up because of renunciation. He gave up his wife and went away. So here first we find that mention. We know Narayan Shastri was bent upon studying all 6 systems of Indian philosophy. And he had finished almost all for the Navya Nyaya, for the logic system of philosophy. He came to Bengal. And he had finished that also. And he thought, let me see here and there the place of pilgrimage before I go back. There, people were calling him. So, going here and there, he came to Dakshineshwar. And once he saw Thakur and became enamored of his personality, and he thought, I have studied everything, but the real import can be understood only from a man of experience. So my understanding will become real only if I stay with this person. And that is how he remained with Thakur. And then he got news or hints that people of his home may come to catch him. And he was filled with renunciation. So he requested Thakur, please give me sannyas diksha. And what will you do? I will go away and cultivate that knowledge which is to be cultivated after sannyas. So Thakur gave him sannyas. And he went to Vasishtha Guha or somewhere to practice. And some people say he passed away there, he must have been fulfilled. So that is the story. He gave up his wife and went away. That means house people were calling him. But instead of going there, he went by other side. A man attains yoga when he completely effaces human and gold from his mind. So, giving Narayan Shastri's example, Thakur is telling that when one completely effaces the idea of enjoyment, of objects and means, then only he can realize God. So, Narayan Shastri followed that. With some, the characteristics of the yogi are well marked. So, some people, by seeing them, one can understand that he is a yogi. I shall have to tell you something of the 6 centers. So, he wants to add to Master Masha's knowledge. The mind of the yogi passes through these and he realizes God through his grace. So, another way of describing the gradual progress he wants to convey to the Master Masha. Have you heard of the 6 centers? M. These are the 7 planes of the Vedanta. Sri Ramakrishna, Vedanta no Ved Math. So you understand this point? People who have studied Yoga Vasishtha, they talk of these 7 planes. And Thakur himself has said how it corresponds with these 7 planes. But here Thakur says, not Vedanta but Vedas. So what is the meaning? Thakur himself has said in some other place that the 6 chakras of the yogis correspond to the experiences gained in the Vedanta Saptabhumi. And here Master Masha is telling the same thing. Thakur asked, do you know about 6 centers? So Master Masha wants to inform him that from you I have heard that it is 7 centers of the Vedanta. Thakur here says, not Vedanta but Vedas. What is the meaning? The Vedanta, as it appears, is the end. Vedanta does not talk of so many levels. And Vedas are the storehouse of spirituality. So they talk of every level.
There are 7 levels, 7 planes are mentioned.
7 planes is one way to describe the different levels of spiritual evolution. And in Vedas, there are so many realizations of the spheres lower than Vedanta. So it will include this also. So here Vedanta means the absolute reality. There, how can there be 6 spheres? Do you know that the 6 centers, do you know what the 6 centers are like? They are lotuses in the subtle body. You have thought of this sometime? The yogis see them. They are like the fruits and leaves of a wax tree. You understand this point? The yogis see them. They are like fruits and leaves of a wax tree. Wax, you know. And a tree is made of that wax.
Oh.
It is not an actual tree, but tree shape given to that wax. And then there are fruits and leaves. So Thakur is trying to describe the subtler experience of the yogis in gross terms. And wax is a pliable substance. So he is describing like that. Yes, sir. The yogis can perceive them. So, M has understood that. And he says, wax and all right, but yogis can perceive them. So they will describe it is like this or like that. I have read that there is a kind of glass through which a tiny object looks very big. Likewise, through yoga, one can see those subtle lotuses. Now, here there is a slight difference. Size small can be magnified physically, but the small size also is physical. But this can be an example that what we cannot see, that can be seen by magnification. Here, the yogis have subtler powers. So what we cannot see, they see. So this is only an example of that. It is just not exactly like that. Following Sri Ramakrishna's direction, M spent the night in the hut at the Panchavati. So Thakur has told him to spend the night there. And he said, I will go to Nagpur because of the poetry and all that. And in the midnight he had gone to Panchavati. So now he has realized what Thakur has told him and he is going to Panchavati. M spent the night in the hut at the Panchavati. In the early hours of the morning, he was singing alone. So here, next date has started. 19 December we are reading. Now he spent the night. In the early morning, it is 20th now. He was singing alone. I am without the least benefit of prayer and austerity, O Lord. I looked into Bengali. No, M by now has come to realize the importance of avatars, sakar, sagun, everything. And so the mention is of Gaur, here in English only Lord. So Gaur is Chaitanya Deva's name. So the prayer is addressed to Chaitanya Dev as an incarnation of God. I am without the least benefit of prayer and austerity. Benefit means means not the fruits of those. Benefit means I am not able to do that. That is the meaning. Understood? I am without the least benefit of prayer and austerity. That
In Bengali.
huh?
In Bengali.
In Bengali, sadhan bhajan hi.
Simple.
So sadhan bhajan I do not have. That is benefit. Huh? I am the lowliest of the lowly. Make me pure with thy hallowed touch. When it is addressed to personal God, all the pathos comes in. One by one, I pass my days in hope of reaching thy lotus feet. But thee, alas, I have not found. So in the end also there is God. And the song continues a little. One line more. Same thing. Huh? Suddenly M glanced toward the window. Hut in the Panchavati. Huh? So from that window. And saw the master standing there. That is Sri Ramakrishna's grace and love for his devotees. Sri Ramakrishna's eyes became heavy with tears as M sang the line. So the artata in M's voice and song, Thakur could feel. Sang the line, I am the lowest of the lowly, make me pure with that hallowed touch. M sang again. I shall put on the ochre robe and earrings made of conch shell. This is in a particular sampradaya. Earrings, that is not sampradaya. Thus, in the garb of a yogini, oh, that is why. So, Chaitanya's follower in Madhur Bhav. From place to place I shall wander till I have found my cruel Hari. That is Gopi song. M saw that the master was walking with Rakha. So for 28th December, we have only this much, early morning. So we pass on to Friday, December 21, 1883. In the morning, that means next day morning. In the morning, the master and M were conversing alone under the bel tree. The master told him many secrets of spiritual discipline, exhorting him to renounce woman and God, because he was a married man living in the house. He further said that the mind at times becomes one's guru. When the mind becomes pure, then from within the mind you get your instruction, what to do. After his midday meal, the master went to the Panchavati wearing a beautiful yellow robe. 2 or 3 Vaishnava monks were there, clad in the dress of their sect. So Thakur dress has become corresponding to them. In the afternoon, a monk belonging to the sect of Nanak arrived. We have talked about this in detail one day. That the present Sikhs believed that Nanak did not preach sannyas at all. And I experienced with many types of Nanak's sannyasi sects. So this is one of them. Huh? He was a worshipper of the formless God. Sri Ramakrishna asked him to meditate as well on God with form.
In Bengali, Vaishnav, there is one sentence. Can you Vaishnav ke bolchen তোর দৌড় কৌপিনের স্বরূপ বল দেখি?
Don't mention, I can't do it. একজন বাউল তিনি বৈষ্ণবকে বলছেন তোর ডোর কপিনের স্বরূপ বলে দেখি It is left only that, na? Okay. সাকার ও চিন্তা করিতে বলিতেছেন What is that? Ishopanishad mantra 12, 13, 14. Today only that Madhapurpur Swamiji asked me to come and talk there, but people are not able to tell anything of these mantras. Now, God is everything, Nirakar, Sakar, everything. And when we realize God, we will know that He is everything. And there will be perfect harmony in our mind. Now, before that, one should not become one-sided. That is that 12, 13, 14. So, if you are thinking of Nirakar, you think also of Sakar. Then your mind will become broad. And you will realize the reality. That is the idea. Now, Nanak's, no? Okay.
Vaishnav
Huh?
door coping মানে কি মানুষ? Door coping.
Bowl's dress.
Oh.
Huh.
This is dress.
Door.
Coping.
So he was in a different dress, so Thakur asked.
Oh.
The master said to him, dive deep. One does not get the precious gems by merely floating on the surface. When you go deep, you will understand this. God is without form, no doubt, but He is also as form. By meditating on God with form, one speedily acquires devotion. Then one can meditate on the formless God. So this is a process. Form, quickly you get it and devotion comes. Then you can meditate on the formless. From form to formless. It is like throwing a letter away after learning its contents and then setting out to follow its instructions. Do you know this thing? Here only very short is given. Suppose somebody has sent a letter that you send me such thing, such thing, such thing, such thing. Now he had lost that letter. So he's searching and searching for the letter. Now he got the letter, read everything, and then threw away the letter. Because now he has understood. He goes to market and purchases those things. That is the incident. So once you know the contents of your sadhana, you have to practice it. That is the lesson. We go to next day, Sunday, December 22. Saturday, December 22, 1883. Rakhal, Harish, M. and because Mastermaster is living there, he had no time to write down all these things. He used to go to his house and write in his diary. Now it is there. So some important points he has jotted down. Rakhal, Harish, M and Latu had been staying with Sri Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar. About 9 o'clock in the morning, the master was sitting with them on the southeast veranda of his room when Balram's father and Devendra Ghosh of Shampukur arrived. So Balram and Balram's father we have come to know by now. Huh? This a new person is Devendra Ghosh of Shampukur. Devendra Chandra Ghosh. Shampukur निवासी देवेंद्र ठाकुर একজন অনুরাগী ভক্ত দক্ষিণেশ্বরের ঠাকুরের কাছে এজাত করিতেন এবং ঠাকুরের নিকট নানা উপদেশ গ্রহণ করে one of the devotees used to frequent Thakur. Okay. A devotee, sir, how does one obtain love for God? So some questions will be there, and from there Thakur will describe everything. Master, go forward. The king dwells beyond the 7 gates. You can see him only after passing through all the gates. That means whatever you are doing, you do it with more depth. You will come to that. At the time of the installation of Annapurna at Chanak, I said to Dwarika Babu, Mathura Babu's son, large fish live in the deep water of a big lake. Throw some spiced bait into the water, then the fish will come, attracted by its smell. Now and then they will make the water splash. Devotion and ecstatic love are like this spiced bait. God will come, attracted by that devotion. So this is an example. And Thakur told it to Dwari Babu, because Dwari Babu also was a devotee. God sports in the world as man. He incarnates himself as man, as in the case of Krishna, Rama, and Chaitanya. Once I said to Keshav, the greatest manifestation of God is in man. There are small holes in the bark of a field where crabs and fish accumulate in the rainy season. If you want to find them, you must seek them in the holes. If you seek God, you must seek Him in an incarnation. What examples? So beyond the veil, that's the meaning here. In the holes. So that is man. Huh? The Divine Mother of the Universe manifests herself through this 3.5 cubit man. You know what is cubit?
100.
This is cubit. 1.5 feet approximately. Half a meter approximately, slightly less than half a meter. Half a yard. There is a song that says, "Oh mother, what a machine is this that thou hast made? What pranks thou played with this toy 3.5 cubits high?" So this is not incarnation, no? This is man. One needs spiritual practice in order to know God and recognize divine incarnations. So without sadhana, you cannot do anything. Big fish live in the large lake. But to see them, one must throw spiced bait in the water. There is butter in milk, but one must churn the milk to get it. There is oil in mustard seed, but one must press the seed to extract the oil. So everywhere, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. I am present everywhere, but not seen outside. So you have to extract it, you will see. Extraction is by sadhana. You gain the power to see these subtler things. Devotee. Has God form or is he formless? Certain questions. Master, wait. First of all, you must go to Calcutta. Then only will you know where the Maidan, the Asiatic Society, and the Bengal Bank are located. If you want to go to the Brahmin quarters of Khardha, you must first of all go to Khardha. Start some practice, then you will know these things. First reach a stage, then you will understand. So one new thing has come in there. I was not thinking of that. Maidan, Asiatic Society, we know. Bengal Bank also was an important thing in those days. Why should it not be possible to practice the discipline of the formless God? But it is very difficult to follow that path. So he is not denying that at all. One cannot follow it without renouncing woman and God. Again, same thing. So in the world, you are stuck up with forms. There must be complete renunciation, both inner and outer. You cannot succeed in this path if you have the slightest trace of worldliness. So inner and outer means you have to become sannyasi. It is easy to worship God with form, but it is not as easy as all that. You understand this? Comparatively easy, but nothing is easy. That also will come by practice. So much like Gita it comes. Klesho adhikataras tesham. So Shankar says that klesha is there. And when he talks of Saguna Bhakti, in the same chapter, 12th chapter, 9th shloka, then he says, if you cannot follow this, you do this. If you cannot follow this, you do this. If you cannot follow this, you do this. Like that he says. So it is not as easy as all that. Don't think Saguna Bhakti is easy. You have to sacrifice. One should not discuss the discipline of the impersonal God or the path of knowledge with a Bhakta. So, Bhakta has an attitude that will get disturbed if you talk of Nirgun or Nirakar, real Nirakar. Through great effort, perhaps he is just cultivating a little devotion. You will enjoy it if you explain away everything as a mere dream. This is a very stumbling block for the devotees. They're afraid, they abhor the idea that world is like a dream. Kabir was a worshipper of the impersonal God. He did not believe in Shiva, Kali, or Krishna. He used to make fun of them and say that Kali lived on the offerings of rice and banana, and that Krishna danced like a monkey when the gopis clapped their hands. Ridiculing. All laugh. And Kali requires rice and plantains.
Charcoal.
Where it is gone? 22 December, na?
Previous page, 345. 345 page.
45.
Bottom.
Kali Chalkola Khan. So she is a woman. One who worships God without form perhaps sees at first the deity with 10 arms, then the deity with 4 arms, then the baby Krishna with 2 arms. At last he sees the indivisible light and merges in it. So Aishwarya is not there. Gradually. Baby Krishna. And then finally Nirakar. So a system is told. Big thing is required in the beginning. Dashapuja and all that. It is said that sages like Dattatreya and Jadabharata, once more they had been referred to, did not return to the relative plane after having the vision of Brahman. According to some people, Shukadeva tasted only a drop of that ocean of Brahman consciousness. He saw and heard the rumbling of the waves of the ocean, but he did not dive into it. So, different stages of different intensity of the realization. A brahmachari once said to me, one who goes beyond Kedar cannot keep his body alive. You understand brahmachari here? That is Naishtik brahmachari. It is not brahmacharya preparatory to sannyas. They live like that only till the end of the life. They do not take sannyas. Kedarnath temple.
Oh.
One who goes beyond Kedar cannot keep his body alive. It has both the meanings. Spiritual meaning is that if you go beyond the form of Shiva, you cannot keep your body, or the height of Himalayas after Kedar, you cannot keep your body. Likewise, a man cannot preserve his body after attaining Brahmajnana. The body drops off in 21 days. Okay? The footnote says it for ordinary people. There was an infinite field beyond a high wall. 4 friends tried to find out what was beyond the wall. 3 of them, one after the other, climbed the wall, saw the field, burst into loud laughter, and dropped to the other side. These 3 could not give any information about the field. Only the 4th man came back and told people about it. He is like those who retain their bodies even after attaining Brahmajnana. In order to teach others, divine incarnations belong to this class. Parvati was born as the daughter of King of Himalaya. After her birth, she revealed to the king her various divine forms. The father said, well, daughter, you have shown me all these forms. That is nice. But you have another aspect which is Brahman. Please show me that. Father, replied Parvati, if you seek the knowledge of Brahman, then renounce the world and live in the company of holy men. Because the nature of the mind, we have seen the nature of the mind has to be changed. But King Himalaya insisted. Thereupon, this has a change, twist. But King Himalaya insisted. Thereupon Parvati revealed her Brahman form, and immediately the king fell down unconscious. Because he had not trained his mind. All that I have just said belongs to the realm of reasoning. Huh? Brahman alone is real and the world illusory. That is reasoning. Reasoning means this is reasoning, vichar. And everything but Brahman is like a dream. But this is an extremely difficult path. Thakur is talking generally to the householders. To one who follows it, even the divine play in the world becomes like a dream and appears unreal. So this Leela of Krishna and all that also is dream. His I also vanishes. So when the world vanishes, I also vanishes. The followers of the path do not accept the divine incarnation because it becomes particularized. It is a very difficult path. The lovers of God should not hear much of such reasoning. He has told, but it should not again and again be done that. Faith should not be disturbed. That is why God incarnates himself as man and teaches people the path of devotion. He exhorts people to cultivate self-surrender to God. Following the path of devotion, one realizes everything through his grace, both knowledge and supreme wisdom. So,
ज्ञान विज्ञान
ज्ञान विज्ञान सब है. What he says here? Knowledge and supreme wisdom. Knowledge of transcendent Brahman and experience of transcendentally immanent Brahman. That is Jnana and Vijnana. Comes from devotion only. Huh? God sports in this world. He is under the control of his devotee. Shama, the Divine Mother, is herself tied by the cord of the love of her devotee. So Shama has come because some song or something is there.
It's the last line of the song.
Hmm?
In the previous stage, the song was there. Previous stage.
Okay. Sometimes God becomes the magnet and the devotee is the needle. And sometimes the devotee becomes the magnet and God the needle. So when the devotee is pure, God is attracted to him. The devotee attracts God to him. God is the beloved of his devotees and is under his control. According to one school, the gopis of Vrindavan, like Yashoda, had believed in a formless God in their previous births, but they did not derive any satisfaction from this belief. So those who want to play superiority of form, they describe this like that. That is why later on they enjoyed so much. Bliss in the company of Sri Krishna in the Vrindavan episode of his life. One day Krishna said to the gopis, "Come along, I shall show you the abode of the eternal. Let us go to the Jamuna for a bath." As they dived into the water of the river, they at once saw Goloka, the abode of the divine. Next, they saw the indivisible light. Thereupon, Yashoda exclaimed, "Oh Krishna, we don't care for these things anymore. We would like to see you in your human form. I want to take you in my arms and feed you. So they want to love. So the greatest manifestation of God is through his incarnation. That means everything can be seen through him. The devotee should worship and serve an incarnation of God as long as he lives in a human body. At the break of day, he disappears into the secret chamber of his house. What is that? কোথায় 23rd, we are reading 22nd, no?
346 page 346.
ये जो कोठार भीतर चोर कोठारी भोर होले से लुकावे रे. Well, actually, if I consciousness rises, then God hides. That is the meaning. Not all by any means can recognize the incarnation of God. Assuming a human body, the incarnation falls a victim to disease, grief, hunger, thirst, and all such things, like ordinary people, mortals. Rama waits for Sita. Brahman weeps, entrapped in the snare of the five elements. So his play like ordinary mortals, but his consciousness is divine. Stray things are coming today, not well formed. It is so, all cannot recognize him. That is the topic. Seeing these things. It is said in the Puranas that God in his incarnation as the soul lived happily with his young ones even after the destruction of Hiranyaksha. Hiranyakashipu's brother, Hiranyaksha. And he had hidden the earth itself. So he took the form of a boar and dug out the earth. For that he had to take that form of the boar. What is so, you understand? Female boar. Lived happily with his young ones, even after the reaction of Hiranyaksha. Because she is the mother, she has children. As they saw, he nursed them and forgot all about his abode in heaven. At last, Shiva killed his soul body with his trident, and God, laughing aloud, went to his own abode. Enough, huh? In the afternoon, we'll read afterwards. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavivirīditam Kalmashāpaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadattatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Atre came. Atreni, sorry, Archishma. Only little are left.